come to lie on your back, beginning your practice in Shavasana. Take a moment to send your arms and legs wide away from your body, taking up space on your mat. Releasing through the fingers, the toes, the hands and feet. Slide the shoulder blades beneath you, creating a sense of openness through your chest as the head falls softly into the mat. Give yourself permission to let go of any external distractions that are pulling you away from your practice today. Setting aside this time for just you and your practice and your breath. And turn your awareness now to the breath as it moves in and out through your nose, filling your belly up with each breath. Aware of the gentle rise and fall of your belly. And the breath as it moves across the upper lip. Find some softness through the face. And we'll start to slowly awaken the body by wiggling the fingers and the toes. Find some gentle rotations through the wrists and the ankles. In both directions. Slide the feet together at the bottom of your mat. And draw the right knee in towards the chest. Keep the left leg extended long. You can interlace the fingers around the right knee, hug it in close towards your belly. Stay active through the left leg. Reach through the left heel. Draw the left toes towards your face. The longer you hold this wind relieving pose, the more you're going to start feeling those left toes start to tip over to one side. Really focus on being active through the left leg. Toes are pointing up towards the sky. Squeezing the left thigh muscle in towards the bone. Find some softness through the right leg, releasing through the right ankle, letting the toes fall wherever they choose. Stay connected with the deep belly breath. Release the right arm beside you. Take hold of the right knee with the left hand, gently guide it across your body over to the left for a twist. See if you can keep the right shoulder in contact with the floor, even if it means the right knee is not getting quite as close to the floor on the left. You can always use blocks or pillows beneath the right knee for some support. The gaze is to the ceiling or over to the right. Option to keep the right knee bent, or if space allows, you can straighten the right leg over to the left side. Sending your breath deep into the lower right belly. Gaze comes back through center if it's not already there. Draw the right knee up through center. Hug the right knee in close towards you. For one more big breath in wind relieving pose. From here, lower the sole of the right foot onto the mat, left leg still long. And tip the right knee open to the right side of the room, bringing the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left leg for reclined tree pose. The left leg stays straight and active. The sole of the right foot pressing into the left thigh or the left shin. See if you can square up your hips, find equal weight from both left and right side. Take the arm variation of your choice, so maybe the arms are out at your sides, maybe one hand's on your belly, one on the heart. Keep pressing firm through the outer left hip and the outside of the right knee. The right knee stays just as it is. So keep that kind of triangle shape with the right leg, outer edge pressing into the floor. Start to bend through the left knee, draw the left knee in towards your belly, interlacing around it. The left hip crease is reaching away from your shoulders down into the mat as you hug the left knee in. You can stay in stillness or start to take some gentle circles with the left knee. Encouraging some stillness into the right side of your body, maybe even using the hand on the right inner thigh or right hip, encouraging stillness there. Really isolating the movement to just the left hip. Circle in the opposite direction. The next time you find an area of tension where you start to feel stretched, just pause there. Giving your body a few moments of breath, inviting the tension to melt away with each breath out. Draw the left knee back through center. Take hold of it with both hands. Extend the right leg long to the bottom of your mat, wind relieving pose on the left. Deep flex in the right ankle. Draw the toes towards your face. As the left ankle softens, releasing the toes towards the floor. You can play with the position of the left knee. Maybe it's in towards the midline. Maybe it's a little bit off towards the side of your ribs. Just depending on how it feels in your body. See if you can send your breath into the belly so much so that it starts to press into the thigh, maybe even pressing the thigh away from you. As you breathe out, belly softens, creating space for the knee to hug inwards. Keep the big toe of the right foot pointing towards the sky. Release the left arm beside you. With the right hand on the left knee, start to cross it over your body to the right side. Find your twist. Keep that left shoulder reaching for the floor. Again, option to keep the left leg bent, or you can extend it long beside you. Maybe sliding your hand down towards the ankle, or taking peace fingers around the big toe of the left. Reaching the left hip crease away from the left shoulder. And choosing the gaze that feels best in your neck. Slowly bring your gaze back through center. Bring the left knee back through center as well. Pausing for a breath in your wind relieving pose. From here, slowly lower the sole of the left foot onto the mat. Keep the right leg extended long. Start to tip over onto the pinky toe edge of the left foot, letting the knee open up to the left side. And the sole of the left foot finds the inside of the right leg. The closer the heel is towards the pelvis, the more of a stretch you'll be feeling here. But you may start to notice the knee lift up if that's the case. If the knee is lifting up, you may want to slide your foot down towards the ankle a little bit further, just to allow yourself to stay open through the front of the pelvis. Take the arm variation that feels best for you. Find a long spine all the way up your neck. Pressing down firm through the outer right hip and the outside of the entire left leg. Just letting your body melt into this pose, allowing it to feel safe and supported by the floor beneath you. Keep that left leg just as it is. Start to draw the right knee in towards you, so the left leg stays open to the left side with a bend in the knee. Right knee hugs in. Keep pressing firm to the outer edge of the left leg, as if you're showing the inseam of the left pant leg to the sky. And if this feels like a good stretch right where you are, you're welcome to stay. Otherwise, find that gentle rotation with the right knee. You can use the left hand on the inner left thigh to encourage stillness in that area. Moving slowly and mindfully, listening to your body for those areas of tension and tightness. Circling the opposite direction. And when you find that area of tension, the next time you circle through, pause there. Really focus on evening the weight from left and right hip, lengthening through the low back. And draw the right knee back through center, and extend the left leg long. Release the right leg, let it join the left. Take a mini Shavasana here. Just finding some softness through the legs. Noticing any changes from when you first landed here on your mat. And reconnecting with your breath. Slide your feet together at the bottom of the mat and draw the knees in towards your chest, giving them a hug, maybe a gentle rock from side to side, massaging your low back. Pause in the center, and let the soles of your feet find the floor. Reach your right arm up overhead and roll over onto the right side body. You can use the right arm as a pillow. Let the left palm rest softly on the floor or your legs. Draw the legs in close towards your body, really rounding through the spine. Just transitioning slowly from lying onto our backs to rising up. Letting even the transitions of our practice become a part of our practice. Moving slowly and mindfully. When you feel ready in your own time, find your way up to a tabletop position. From your tabletop position, with shoulders over wrist, hips over knees, we're going to move through a few cat and cows. Take a big breath in, lift the tailbone, let the belly drop, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. As you exhale, scoop the tailbone beneath you, rounding through the spine, hollow out the chest, gaze to your belly button. Big breath in, lifted tailbone, belly drops, heart comes forward and up. Exhale, rounded spine like a Halloween cat. Press firm to the hands, hollow at the chest, gaze to the belly. Inhale, cow pose. Scoop that back, lift the tailbone high. Exhale for cat. Big breath in. And a slow breath out. Following your own rhythm of breath. Linking each movement to a breath. And allowing each cycle to be a little bit slower than the one before it. Take one more in each direction. Land in your neutral spine. Let the big toes come to touch, the knees go wide apart, shift the hips back to child's pose. The fingertips spread wide, let them slide away from your hips. Let the forehead rest on the floor or on a block or pillow. And create length through your spine, let the hips grow heavy towards your heels. And pressing firm through the palms of your hands with all 10 fingers spread wide. Draw the shoulder blades back down towards the ribs. Option here to bring a bend into the elbows, letting them softly lower onto the mat. Turn the palms to face one another and bring them in towards the midline to touch. So the elbows are bent, the body is still in child's pose, but the palms come to meet in the middle. From here, start to lift the pinky fingers up off of the floor and point the fingertips towards the sky. Maybe even starting to reach the fingertips back behind you, bringing the thumbs to rest on the back of the neck or between the shoulder blades. If you have blocks at home and you'd like a little more challenge to this pose, you can always bring the blocks beneath the elbows, raising the elbows up off of the floor and getting a little more depth into the shoulder stretch. And breathe space into the upper back, between the shoulder blades, and into the ribs. And bring the palms back towards the floor in front of you. Slide forward to tabletop. Walk the knees back a couple of inches, shoulders still over wrist. Modified plank. Core is engaged, belly button, low ribs draw in. Thighs and glutes are active. Lengthen through the spine first, and then as you breathe out, lower softly down towards the mat. Let the elbows graze your ribs. Press down firm through the tops of your feet, the shoelace side of the feet, and all 10 toenails. Palms are on the floor beneath the shoulders. Draw the elbows in towards the midline and back towards the heels. And stay open through the chest. As you breathe in, lengthen and lift, baby cobra, collarbones and ribs lift up off of the mat. Exhale, lower with control. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lengthen and lift. This time we're going to hold. So hold that lift, long straight neck, little to no weight in the hands. Make sure you're pressing firm through the feet. If you have low back sensitivity, you can always create some space between the feet. That's going to help support your low back. You're holding the pose, but not the breath. And then slowly exhale. Let the big toes come to touch the heels, go wide apart. Slide the arms back behind you and turn your gaze to the right. Just take a moment for the low back to reset. Gaze comes back through center, heels draw in towards the midline. And from here, bring the arms out in front of you. Palms face the floor. Turn the right toes to face the right side of the room. The inner arch of the right foot on the floor. Start to bend through the right knee, coming into half frog pose. So the entire inseam of the right pant leg is facing the floor, pressing down towards the earth. Left leg is still extended long, and we're working towards a 90-degree angle at the hip, the knee, and then the ankle of the right leg, but it's okay if you don't get there today. And you can bring one of the hands or stack the hands beneath the forehead like a pillow. We're just taking a few moments, a few breaths to ease into this pose, with the option of staying here or moving forward. So stay just as you are. Or you can start to rise up onto forearms. Just being really mindful of your low back here. Any pinching, any pain in the low back, please lower down and just work on your half frog. And stay open through the chest. Forearms on the mat as the chest starts to lift up off of the mat. Keep pressing down firm through the inner right thigh and the entire length of your left leg. Adding a little bit of a twist here. Really focusing on the low back, making sure there's no discomfort in that area. We're going to bring the right hand beside us and start to slide the right arm through under the left side of the body, so between the left elbow and left hip. Right palm faces up. And it slides through over to the left, lowering the right shoulder towards the mat, maybe even the top right corner of your head. And pressing firm to the entire length of the right arm. You can keep the left hand just as it is, reaching out in front of you with the forearm on the floor. You can bring the palm to the floor and start to lift the elbow, deepening the twist, pressing down firm through the left hand. Whichever feels best. From here, rise back up onto the left forearm. Slide the right arm out to meet the left. Lower back down onto your belly. Let the forehead rest on the right arm or right hand. And the right leg is still in that half frog position. Again, either pausing here, or if you'd like to bring a little more stretch into the left leg, start to bend at the left knee, bring the left heel in towards your bum. Reach back with the left hand, take hold of the left foot and draw it in towards the glutes. Pressing firm through the entire length of the left thigh, all the way down from the hip to the knee. Focusing as well on the front of your pelvis. If you were wearing jeans where you would have a zipper, press that into the mat as well. Slowly release the left foot. Let the right leg join it. Big toes come to touch, heels go far apart. Release your arms at your side and turn your gaze to the left this time. Just letting go of that side. Bring the gaze back through center. The heels come back through the midline as well. Arms come out in front of you. You can have a bend in the elbows to begin. And turn the left toes to face the left side of the room. With the inner arch of the left foot facing the floor, start to bend through the left knee, sliding it over to the left side of the room. Left knee roughly in line with the left hip. With a deep flex in the ankle. Working towards that 90-degree angle at the left hip, left knee, and left ankle. The entire inseam of the left pant leg is pressing into the floor at the same time the right hip is pressing into the mat. Maybe you're feeling a good stretch and you want to stay here rather than moving forward. You're welcome to do so. And if you'd like to come into that twist, we're going to find our way up onto the forearms. Elbows beneath the shoulders. See if you can keep the hips square. The left hip's going to want to lift up. Just checking in on the low back, making sure there's no tension developing there. And we'll come up onto the left palm, bringing it to the side of our body. Face the left palm towards the ceiling. Start to slide the left arm under the right, over to the right side of the room. Left shoulder starts to creep down towards the mat. Let the top left corner of the head find the floor as well. And just adjust the position of the right arm to where you feel comfortable. Always the option to bring the right palm to the floor, lift the elbow, and start to press gently into the palm, deepening the twist. As long as that doesn't cause discomfort in the low back. Bring the gaze back through center. Left arm slides back to meet the right. And then slowly lowering yourself down. Letting the forehead come to rest on the left arm. Again, staying here in your half frog. Or you can start to draw the right heel in towards the right glute for a bit of a quad stretch into the front of the right thigh. Reach back with the right hand. You can always use a strap if it's not quite accessible. Keep drawing the heel in closer and closer towards the bum. It's okay if it doesn't touch. But don't let the right knee lift up off the mat. Press it firm down into the ground. Press the entire front of your pelvis from the base of the zipper to a button into the mat as well. Breathe into the tension you're feeling in that area. Slowly release the right foot. Let the left leg join in. Bring the palms onto the mat beside your shoulders. Press up through tabletop. Send the hips back towards the heels for a child's pose. Option to make this one be a little more narrow, with the legs as close together as you can to allow space for your belly, but still have the knees narrow enough that you can reach back behind you towards your toes. Rounding through the upper body, the upper back. Breathing space into your entire back body. Slide the arms out in front of you. Find your way up to tabletop. From here, we're going to tuck the toes behind us. So the toes are tucked beneath the heels. Start to walk the hands towards your knees, bringing the hips towards the heels to apply a little bit of extra weight onto the toes. And this might be a lot of stretch for most of you, and the soles of the feet, the inner arches. Even if you have room to go a little bit deeper, you walk the hands up onto the thighs, sit up tall. Bringing some weight into the hips, onto the heels. Maybe even walking the knees away from the toes a little bit, as long as you're able to keep the heels stacked over the toes. And stay open to the chest, tall shoulders and spine. Maintaining a long, straight neck. Gaze is neutral. Giving yourself permission to come out at any time it becomes too much. Slide the hands down the thighs towards the floor. Walk yourself into a tabletop. Maybe tapping the toes out on the floor, rolling the heels from side to side. Let the big toes come to touch, the knees go wide apart. Shift your hips back towards the heels. Child's pose. Allow the forehead to rest on the mat. Maybe growing soft in the arms, releasing through the elbows. Let the forearms rest on the floor. And let this child's pose be very passive. Let go of all effort in it. Perhaps taking a gentle rock from side to side with the head, massaging the third eye, the center of your forehead. Stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system, and triggering the body to relax. Once you've massaged the forehead a couple of times, simply settle into stillness. Allowing the hips to surrender to gravity, sinking deeper and deeper towards the heels with each breath out. And creating space through your entire back body with every breath in. Take one big breath in through the nose, and a big breath out through the mouth. And then letting go of even the effort of breath. Surrendering to this posture, and to your body's own natural rhythm of breathing. This practice will continue to be yours for as long as you choose to allow it. You're welcome to get up and go whenever you feel ready. Do so slowly and mindfully. Allow finishing your practice to become part of your practice. And with such gratitude as always for you joining me today. Namaste.